What I'm presenting today are basic results of those excavations that took place in the 1980s in the anticipation of the landfill being developed on the site. What I'm going to show basically are some slides of those excavations, some general views of the site, and a number of historical photographs that show, some of the remains when they were still standing structures. This is a general aerial view of the site. What you can see is the Missouri. At the very bottom, you can see the banks of the Missouri River, the railroad track just south of that, and the general area of our excavations was in this area right here. This right up here, this is 27th Street, and it dead ends right here at the top of the bluff. And this is the general area of the site. Quindaro Creek, that was referred to, and the brewery, they're over in this area. The cemetery that currently exists there is located in this area. This is a general view from the north, probably taken from the railroad tracks in the late 19th century. This shows the remains of Parks Warehouse, and you're looking basically south. And at that time, as you can see, what presently is a wooded area was almost entirely cleared. This warehouse was still standing at that time. You've got the creek located to the right. Now, this is another early 20th century view looking from the top of the hill downwards, and this shows the Jacob Henry building, which is still standing. At least the walls were still standing at that time. This shows basically, this is a map of the site. The top's north on this, and this shows basically the archaeological features that we located along Kansas Avenue. What you have are a series of commercial buildings fronting the street. We have the basic townsite plan overlaid with current topography, and the mapping remains of the archaeological features. The Quindaro House Hotel was located in this area. It consisted of a few footings, not terribly extensive, but a real large area of debris located behind that. And a large number of those, close to 100,000 artifacts came from this trash dump. Somewhat to the south of that, we have the location of the Chindawon newspaper, another commercial building located to the south. To the right over here, we have the Jacob Henry building, right there, the Wyandotte House Hotel, and another commercial building right here. And then there were also some additional commercial buildings located farther up the bluff slope. The current 27th Street would be located right in this area, and that overlook, as you can see from 27th Street, is about in this area right here. So from that overlook, you're looking down Kansas Avenue with the wooded area to the left and right.
And where would the river be? Where would the river?
The river location.
The river would be located down in this area.
No, up top.
Up here, yeah. Yeah, this is a railroad track. This is a view of the north. The river basically would be right up in this area. Yeah.
Where are the utility easements now?
What was that? I didn't quite hear you.
The utility easements that are there now, where would they fall in that map?
We have to build
Utilities. Where the utilities, the
pipeline corridor.
Okay, the pipeline corridor, that's located right in this area here. Yeah, it extends from about, and there's a large number of pipelines located in that area. And, one of the interesting things about the site, there was always, this rumor of there being a tunnel located at the site. And some people attributed the thought, well, this cave behind the brewery was the tunnel, you see. But we couldn't find the tunnel. I mean, we'd extensively looked at the site. We couldn't find the tunnel. And it's, you know, some comment I made, well, there really isn't, and followed me, there really isn't a tunnel there. Well, I get back to my office a couple of days later, somebody calls me up and says, well, I disagree with you because I was in that tunnel as a child. I was a young boy. And where that tunnel actually is located, it's located in the area of these pipeline corridors, and we didn't have access to that at the time. And I'm going to show a little more on that. If you look, this is a close-up photograph of the parts warehouse. And what you have, it's a little hard to see here with the lights on, because there's an arch, area right here. And what that was basically, it was a drainage. This is a close-up of that, and it shows real well right here, in this area right here. And the site of it, let's say in the late 19th century, early 20th century, was kind of a popular picnic area for people.
He's going to click right through it, if you can just kind of tell us what we're looking at. So this looks like, there's the bluff going down.
Yeah, I'll just go through this one. This again is taken from probably the railroad tracks, and it shows our excavations in the foreground. You've got at that time you've got Kansas Avenue is located in this clearing area. At that time, there was a power line corridor through the area, and it's been removed. And that power line corridor actually provided clearing along Kansas Avenue. This right here, in 1994, we actually did some test excavations within that power line corridor, which were done with the anticipation of Lee Williams pipeline was going to replace one of their pipelines. And what we found was right here, that just the very remnants of that arch that you saw in that previous photograph. So there actually are some intact archaeological remains in that pipeline corridor. I mean, everybody, with the number of pipelines that are located there, the assumption would be that everything is destroyed, and that's not quite the case. So, I mean, that's actually located. That's still in existence. So it was at least in 1994.
So there's still ruins that could be excavated. There's still ruins that could be excavated.
Well, there certainly are.
Wow.
This is a close-up of that, so you can clearly see that arch located here. You know, I was just surprised. I mean, this surprised me probably more than anything in the site that this was actually preserved, because that pipeline corridor, I mean, there must be 20 pipelines through there. And I mean, they're just a few feet apart. So, located right between two pipelines, we found this feature. And that is the remains of a drainage tunnel that went underneath Parks Warehouse. And I think that's the basis of most of this legendary folklore about there being a tunnel at the site. This shows you the brewery. And this is what was standing when we visited the site in the mid-1980s, probably 1986 or 87. That's before the recent stabilization and work that was done, 10 or 12 years ago. This shows the beer cellar behind the brewery. The front entrance was in this area. This is basically a two-story building. It consisted of a bar room on the first floor and I believe a residential area on the second floor. Close up to it shows some of the interior plaster on that structure. This is what basically the condition of it again in the mid-1980s. This shows some of our excavations, which were located on the interior of the brewery. This is kind of an interesting illustration here. It was published, I believe, in the early 20th century, but it's a stroller business, Quindaro. And it shows a general view down the site, shows, I believe, remains of the tunnel at that time and part of the standing warehouse. This shows the remains of one of the most substantial foundations at the site. This is the Jacob Henry building. And this was taken during the 1990s when we did the ISD project at the site.
That was the excavation with money from the transportation department.
Right. That was, at that time, what we were interested in doing primarily was trying to stabilize these ruins. And again, this shows, this is taken in the 1990s. This shows some of the front piers at the front of the building. And again, these, between 1987 and mid-90s, considerable overgrowth was, again, this shows those remains, shortly after the 1987 excavations. This was probably taken about, maybe 1990 or so. So what you've got quite a bit of destabilization.
But this is after you were digging down, right?
Yeah,
That's correct.
yeah. This shows the 1987 excavations at the, on the west side of Kansas Avenue. This is the location of Chindalon is located right here. And then you've got the other commercial building directly to the south. This shows the excavations behind the Quindaro Hotel, and this is the trash bin. A lot of those artifacts came from this excavation right here. It's a little hard to see in this light, but you've got a real thick midden that extends from about here right up to here. And this area, as far as I know, behind here has not been excavated. There was a well right up here. There was a small outbuilding that had well-preserved foundations located in this area. I mean, there's just an incredible amount of material here. I mean, we're talking about, thousands of artifacts came from that excavation. This is one of the residences of the house. I believe this is the Robert Kell. It's either the Frederick Klaus building or the Robert Kell residence. This is located up Quindaro Creek. This is another residence located along Quindaro Creek. What this is, these are the foundation remains of those residences. You wonder sometimes what happened to the remains of the site. And this view here, I believe, taken in the early 20th century, basically shows some people loading up building stone from these ruins. So you've got basically intact ruins right here, people robbing materials, hauling this all around. Imagine, what happened to a lot of the foundations and walls down there. They were basically used for foundations for, residences in Kansas City, Kansas. This is a general view of the brewery. This structure was still occupied as a residence in the 1930s. And I imagine this was taken probably somewhere around the turn of the century. But at that time, the structure was still standing. I mean, it was complete. This is a view from the rear of the structure. You've got basically the beer cellars located here.
When you started digging and you started finding this, you mentioned there were some things you didn't realize were there, and that I take it that you were surprised at what you found.
Yeah. One thing to consider here: these are the final excavations. When we started out, what we did was we were following up a survey that was completed by the Kansas State Historical Society, and we did a more intensive survey. And we located, I believe, about maybe 20 different areas that we call archaeological features. Actually, it was over 20, maybe closer to 30. And what we did is I believe in 1984, 85, we did some test excavations of those areas. And these were small test pits, but they indicated the depth and the extent of the remains there. And then based on that, we said, well, there's sufficient remains here, they ought to be, excavated more thoroughly, data recorded and recovered. And that's what led to the phase 4 excavations that you see, the completed excavations, which you see in some of these photographs.
And that pretty much stopped things for a while, right?
Well, what it did is it generated just a tremendous amount of publicity for the site. I mean, we were out there working, and and then a Kansas City Star reporter showed up, and it was all over the Kansas City Star one day, and pretty soon you got,
Pretty soon you got Margaret Robinson out there.
Well,
It's a good segue
people, for the most part, had no idea what we were actually finding out there. I mean, we did, the people reviewing the project did, but the general public didn't. And, there was a lot of excitement about this, and a lot of publicity.